Hello, YouTube friends. I'm Kate from the Last Homely House. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm Cher Johnston, and today's video. Excuse me, drink my tea. Hi there, I'm Cher Johnston, and today's video we're going to do some blah, 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 blah. We're going to do some silk ribbon, and I'm going to start with the basics. We're just going to do basic stitches, basic stuff. I'm going to take a length of my ribbon. First of all, let's talk about needles and threads. I get these needles. I get on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. I like them because they're different sizes and they have color-coded tops so that I know that my turquoise one is a size 24 and my black one is a size 22. Basically, the higher the number, the smaller the needle. I have some silk ribbon here that I bought. It's just cheap, made in China. This one is 7 millimeters. This one, I just got this one too. This one's 4 millimeter. I'll put links to these too. These are both really cheap. I just got this one. It was about $10. There's 10 meters, so that's a lot. Then I also have, this one's 4 millimeters. This one is 2 millimeters. It's very thin. For this thread, 4 millimeters, I'm going to use this needle, which is the number 24, and I'm going to use the number 22 for the 7 millimeter silk ribbon. I also have some other ribbons that I bought. These are a lot more expensive. These are hand dyed. You can see the variation in the color. These are from a company in Australia. Color Streams, for those of us in the US, that has a U in color. You can go online and get. These are not silk ribbons, but this is a cotton. This one is Rana, whatever that means. It's like a pearl cotton. And this is the 2 millimeter silk ribbon. The color is olivades. My favorite color is Tuscan olive, and I don't think I have any right now. No, I don't have any right now. Right now I can't afford a shipment from them because they're in Australia. So I bought some cheap thread from Amazon. I would recommend, if you're a beginner, that you just get some cheap supplies. I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby later today and see if they have any silk ribbon. I doubt it. I've looked. I think I've looked before. Excuse me. So the next thing that we're going to do I'm going to start with my pink ribbon. I'm going to cut a length that's about, you don't want it to go any further than your hand to your elbow. And I heard a very good reason for that on a podcast one day. And I wish I could remember well enough to tell you what happened. My scissors. Crap. Hold, please. Okay. All right, well, whatever. Okay. So I'm going to thread this needle. You want it cut at an angle like that. Makes it easier to thread the needle. Thread the needle, and then you're going to turn it back on itself and push into the end, and that attaches it to the needle so that it won't slide away. And we're going to pierce the end like this, make a little knot. You can also just tie a knot in the end. Then, then we're going to do some, first we're going to start with some straight stitches. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an oval and another oval in the center. This is going to be a flower, sort of pointing to the left. I'm going to start by coming up. Also, I have some, I think this is linen. Not really sure. So if you, the other thing is that it's important to have thread with no creases. Now, because this thread came right off the spool, I don't have to iron it. This one I would iron. And if you keep them on, you probably can't hear it, but my cat's making those noises. Noise. Anyway, I digress. So you want it to be straight. You want it to be flat. You can flatten it like this. Now I'm going to, this is a straight ribbon stitch. I'm going to hold it down against the fabric, but it's not tight against the fabric. I don't want it to be this and be tight against the fabric. I want it to just sort of rest on the fabric. I'm going to pierce right in the center and go all the way through. Then I'm going to pull gently. I'm going to drop the needle. I'm going to straighten this out. And you can hold this with your finger or with a needle, something to straighten it out. While you pull through very gently, just to about there. See where it kind of turns in on itself? You don't want to pull any further. Then I'm going to go to a different point on this circle, oval. And again, I'm just going to flatten, make sure that it's flattened out. Lay it down gently on the center oval, in the center of the thread. the ribbon and pull through. Now it might be giving me trouble because I might need a bigger needle that will pierce a bigger hole in the fabric, but I'm not sure. It might just be that the ribbon here needs to sort of tame down a little bit. I'm going to go to a different spot. Now on the back of the fabric, I don't want to pierce that other ribbon, or it can make your stitches go wonky. So you can either feel for it or look to see. Excuse me, tea. Okay, this time I think I want this to go right between those two. Now to end off, I'm just going to cut this and leave a tail. Yeah, and then I'll sew it down with some regular thread later. Now, if you notice, I took all of the threads from the outside toward the center. I think I might do another one from the inside toward the outside. Okay, now I have a length of green ribbon that's about, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 inches. Because that's about all I'm going to use for my leaves. This time I'm just going to tie a knot in the end, like that. And I'm going to start off behind the flower. And I'm just going to go I don't know, about here. I'm just going to go down into the fabric. Then I'm going to come up here beside it. And this time I'm going to do a detached chain stitch. I come up inside the loop, pull through, gently, 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 just till it's about where I want it. Maybe about there. And then tack it down at the end. Let's go to the other side over here. And let's do another one of those. And this time I want to pull it a little tighter so that it's a little bit narrower. And then I'm going to pull this out a little longer. And that's mainly just to show you that you can make different lengths of leaves. Now I want to show you two different types of roses. First one, I'm going to start with a circle, and I'm going to get some thread. I unthreaded all of my needles. I'm going to get some thread. I'm going to do some spokes. Okay, now you can do 3, or you can do 5, or you can do 7. Just has to be an uneven number. I'm going to do 3. Then I'm going to leave this thread so that I can use it to tack the end down later. Another length of ribbon, about 12 inches. And you know what? This looks a little wrinkly. I'm not going to bother. I should stop and iron it. I think if I wasn't on camera, I would, but I am, so I won't. Now I'm going to start in the center here. And then I'm just going to weave through these spokes. First this way, skip one and go through this one. You can kind of, you want it to be a little bit twisted. And then I'm going to skip this one and go through this one. I'm going to skip that one and go through this one. I'm going to skip that one and go through this one. I'm going to twist it a little bit again. Skip that one and go through this one. I want to be careful not to pierce the fabric or the ribbon. And it looks completely different. Not completely different. It looks a little different with 5 spokes. This is a spiderweb rose. And that's fairly easy. Fair enough. Now I'm going to go to the back. And I'm going to cut the ribbon. I'm going to use this to sew this down. I have two pieces of fabric here so that I can sew through the back piece and not disturb the front piece. Now I'm going to go ahead and use this to start my next rows because it's done in pieces and I can end off my thread and start a new one without much trouble. So this one is going to start with a French knot. When you do a French knot with silk ribbon, you wrap it and pull just enough to get the ribbon to toward the fabric there like that. If you pull too tight, you can't get your needle through. And then you're going to pull just enough so it looks a bit like a rosebud. Then I'm going to come up from the back really close to that knot. And then I'm going to make a fly stitch. So I'm going to come down here on the other side. I'm going to come out toward, somewhere between those two spots, and I'm going to pull, I don't know, just enough. And then I'm going to tack it down. Okay, Let's get a different needle. So this is a black one, which is a number 22. Let's get a 20 and number 20, the yellow one, and see if I have less trouble pulling through the fabric. And this time I am going to pause the video and iron this, because look at it. Be right back. Okay. Now I'm going to do another fly stitch. I'm going to start here. I'm going to come over here and go down and back out there. And the needle doesn't seem to make a difference. I think it's the fabric that I'm using. Or maybe it's just cheap ribbon. I don't know. Okay. Now this time I'm going to start over here. And I'm just going to place the ribbon. No, let's do another one of those. I can go way over here and then come out about there. Yeah, I don't want to pierce that ribbon in the back. There we go. There we go. I don't want to pull that too tight. Now let's do one sweeping one big long petal. And this time I'm going to place it over here. Now, I could come in with a little matching thread and sort of tack that down. That's what I would do with that. Now I'm going to make a little bud. As you know, roses are never just single. I'm doing just a little detached chain stitch. And then I would come in with either some ribbon or thread and make a little, let's just do that right now. No, you know what? I'm going to take a small break because there's somebody using a power tool outside and it's distracting me. I'll be back. It was a little silly. I'm sitting next to an open window and I didn't even think to just close it. It's unusual here in Southern California where we have days where we can have the window open in the summertime. All right, I'm going to do another rose. And this time, I'm going to start about 2 inches away. And I'm going to start with a French knot. And I'm just going to hold that on the needle. And I'm going to do a running stitch up the length of the ribbon, and then I'm going to pierce the fabric and viola. All right, I'm going to do another one right over here. And these are just super simple. This time I'm just going to twist the ribbon. And this one you can kind of play around with it. And if you look closely at the ribbon roses that you buy in the store, sometimes you'll notice that they're a little bit like this, and they're not quite, they don't quite sit right. You can take a tiny piece of matching thread and you know, put it where you want it to be. This time I'm just going to twist the thread up. I go back in really close to where I came out. And when I pull through, you just don't pull through all the way. And there you have a little tiny rosebud. Now I'm going to leave that and I'm going to show you I'm doing. Oh, okay. No, I'm just going to make a regular knot. Okay, this time I want to show you the blep blep blep, the Calyx. Oh, I almost made it through a video without silliness. I'm gonna do one of those stitches where it's like a Y. You know, the one. Fly stitch. I just pull until it looks good, and then I'm going to go through to the back, tack it down. Then I'm going to make over here a little detached chain stitch. Oh no, you know what would look better? I may have done this the wrong direction. Yeah, let's just do a detached chain stitch. A fly stitch leaf would look better. Or no, you know what roses have? Little 5 little, because this one does not look like the leaf for a rose. Let's do another one of those right next to it. Our imaginary rose flower. Okay, here comes the sun. Okay, I think that's our video for today. If you like today's video instruction on silk ribbon, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Do you like the silliness or not? And subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Bye!